So finally, I'd like to introduce today's two speakers. We have Maxine Prod, Product Manager at Zendesk, and Oren Raboy, VP of Products at Totango. Let me quickly go over today's agenda. First, we'll talk about the whole meat of today's subject, unifying customer service and customer success for a better customer experience. And then we'll go into Zendesk's approach to customer service, Totango's approach to customer success, and lastly, just how you can get started and how our specific integration works. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Oren. Oren?
Hello, everyone, and thanks, Christine, for the introduction. So it's an exciting time for software companies that are running a success, support, or service organization. There's a lot of challenges when you look at how you deliver software products in a subscription offering. And one of them is making sure that you deliver a consistent experience for customers that need help. And help can be a customer that is running into a technical difficulty in opening a support ticket. And it can also be a customer that's looking to get to full value and needs assistance from a customer coach or a customer success manager. And Totango and Zendesk being market leaders in the respective space of customer service and customer success management, we've worked hard together in a partnership for many years and have a really useful, impactful solution of taking both of these products together and making them work hand in hand. And when you have your support and your customer success software working hand in hand, you get a number of really exciting benefits. You can offer insightful and contextual support. So when a customer is coming to your support organization looking for help, everyone knows their history, their background, and can be much more insightful in the way that they support them. You can be much more proactive in the way that you engage with customer and drive them to value. You can figure out really easily which customers are at risk and need attention, and which of those customers that are at risk are reaching out for support and treat them appropriately as a customer that is in a situation that is not good and requiring support that often is different than a customer that's doing well and asking a question. So being able to know that and being able to influence the way every team member on both the support and success management organization treats and handles customers is really impactful for the end experience that customers get. Finally, and last but not least, is providing a consistent experience for customers. All too often, especially with software organizations that are growing and scaling, there is sometimes a situation where one hand doesn't necessarily know what the other is doing. That happens to even the best and the brightest. And from a customer point of view, that creates challenges, right? It's very frustrating when you're a customer and you call in to ask for help. And the support agent doesn't know your status, what you bought, who you are, what stage you are in your implementation. And conversely, it's frustrating when they reach out to their customer coach or success manager and they're not aware that there are many or that they have an outstanding ticket that requires assistance with. So all these things together are areas that are challenging for software companies that are growing and have these organizations working, but it's also an opportunity to really excel and deliver a very strong and impactful experience. I have quite a few customers that are using and love this approach and concept. Josh Santos, one of our mutual customers from a company called Clarizen. For those who don't know them, they're a leading company in workflow management solutions. They basically empower organizations of any size to run projects more efficiently and more effectively. And we can see here a quote from Josh about why he likes the joint solution. The bottom line of it is that with Clarizen right now, every time a customer has an issue and logs a support ticket, the support agent knows what the customer success manager is doing. And conversely, when a customer success manager works with a customer, they know exactly the customer success, the customer tickets and the customer issues that the customer is experiencing, and can be much more thoughtful and much more proactive in helping the customer resolve that with the help of the support organization. So So that's the concept, and that's how it works. I'll give Maxime the floor right now to tell us a little bit more about Zendesk's approach towards customer service and why it is the leading platform for any organization that needs that. Maxime, off to you.
Thanks, Oren. Hello, everyone. My name is Maxime, and I'm product manager at Zendesk, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the way we see our approach to customer service. Zendesk works with companies from pretty much all sizes, and that's one of the great things about Zendesk. We work with all types of companies across the globe, whether you have one customer or 500,000, and whether you have one employee to 60,000 employees, we really can fit many use cases. And the reason we do this is because we've built a really kind of flexible customer support and customer engagement platform. So we have today about 40,000 customers. We're in 140 countries, and we support many types of deployments, from customers who have very basic needs to customers who have very integrated needs with all the solutions that they use in their companies today. The way we see kind of our mantra or our motto, if I may, is really about bringing company together and bringing their customers closer with them. So that's really kind of how we like to define what we do at Zendesk. And it's kind of a broad statement, I'll give you that, but it's really what I think drives the way we build products today. And in that spirit, we tend to build products at Zendesk with kind of that philosophy always in mind. So we always remember why we build what we build and who we build it for. So we really try and strive on that kind of Zen philosophy and great satisfaction of customers, and always trying to bring more value to our customers. We try to redefine customer service for today's tech-savvy customers, and the way we've seen this evolve really is that a couple of years ago, but more like 10, 15, 20 years ago, customer service was very contextual, it was very personal and very proactive. And then nowadays, customer service has really become both fragmented, generic, and reactive. So it's evolved differently for the good or the bad, but nowadays customer service is really a business, when it used to be something that you were just doing, not realizing you're doing it. And at Zendesk, we've really tried to take that trend and make it part of our core product, because we realize that the expectations of customers today are they want something immediate, they just want support right here, right now, and they want it really fast. They want it to be seamless, they want it to be fully integrated into their experience, they want support to just happen, they don't want to have to ask for it, they don't want to have to beg for it, they don't want to have to search for it. They want support to be personal, so they want to be called by their name, they want to feel like they're empowered, they're a customer that you respect as much as any of your 45,000 others. They don't want to feel like you're one of many, and they want it to be responsive. They want it to be really fast and have responses even almost instantly. If you look at things like Twitter today, where people use Twitter for customer support, they expect responses very quickly. And so the way we've built that at Zendesk is by building a product for each of the people involved in that flow. So in customer support and engagement, you've got really two things, right? You've got customers, agents, and managers. So we've built a beautiful product we call Help Center for customers, where it's basically a knowledge base, an FAQ, a feature request form, a community form, so anything about engaging your customers in your support experience and letting them self-serve and get the support they need. We've built a product for agents about productivity, about finding the right information at the right time. Oren was mentioning earlier today, where if you're a customer support agent, you want the information, you want the context about this customer, so you can provide him with a good customer support experience because you know things about him that he didn't have to tell you because you didn't have to ask. And then finally, we build products for managers, so people who actually run support organizations, and people who want to know what their agents are doing, when, how, and how can they improve those metrics? How can they go a little further to make their NPS score go up or their customer satisfaction go up? And the way we like to kind of talk about our products and Zendesk in general is by talking about three main pillars. And those three pillars are the ones that you see on the screen right now. We've got customer support, which is really kind of the core of doing tickets, answering questions from your customers, giving them answer when they ask, where do I find this? How is this option enabled in my account? So that's really kind of the core of our product, and we want to stay very true to this. Then we've got customer self-service. So this is the ability for your customers to self-serve information, find it by themselves, have a search bar where they can type and autocomplete answers that they didn't even know they wanted, things like that. So really let them go and find the information, but also engage with each other and talk and advise and, have kind of community management type of thing where people will work for you when they are a customer of your company, things like that we want to enable with our self-service pillar. And then finally, the customer engagement. So that's really giving proactive support, going further than just waiting for the support for the customer to contact you, but really kind of engaging with him and saying, customer's done that, so I might just contact him to let him know that this is going to happen, or to let him know that he can do this. So those are the three pillars of how we define Zendesk and this product, and this is kind of why our integration with Totango is so core to some of our customers, is because those three pillars tie extremely well together into this customer success management thing, and features that Totango will bring. And I'll let Oren tell you a little bit more about kind of Totango product and the customer success management overview side of things.
Thanks, Maxime. So let's talk about customer success, and let's start with what is customer success really. So if you look at modern software organizations that sell as a service, there is a growing need for an organization that is specifically focused on helping customers realize value and driving value with them. So first and foremost, customer success is about it means keeping the promise to the customer. And what that actually means is making sure that every customer that you have on your client list sees value and gets whatever they came to, whatever they purchased your service for, they're actually getting that value. It's not about managing the customer, it's about making sure and managing the value that they get and managing that delivery. And that has a few concepts to it. You want to be able to see the actions that customers are doing and relate to that. If a customer has purchased a project management application but is not managing their projects with your application, that's a problem. They're not getting value. Even if when you talk to them in quarterly business reviews or occasionally they're seemingly satisfied and happy, they're not getting value, and at some point or later they will not be successful and will leave your organization. It's about being able to see in real time through deployment of sensors how the customer is doing. Are they logging into the application? How much time they're spending on the application? How many projects are they launching? How many tasks within those projects? It's about getting that information into the hands of people that are responsible for it in real time and letting them act on it. That's the way modern companies work. It's not about looking at history and what did the customer do yesterday or the month before, nor what are they saying. It's about seeing what they're doing and reacting to that. Research has shown that even if customers require help and need your assistance and the company's insights in driving value, being able to engage with them at the right time and in the right context is tremendously more effective than providing them assistance and goals and help when it's convenient to the organization. So it's not about doing periodic check-ins and working with them as it suits the organization, but it's about reaching out and identifying proactively points in time where the customer or a user requires assistance and coaching, and being able to engage with them in that context at that time through the right medium to deliver the value that they need. It's about treating all customers, not only high-value customers. In today's modern software as a service environment, often organizations have many different types of customers, SMB customers and enterprise customers, freemium customers and paying customers, trials and ongoing customers, different plans and so forth. Being able to be successful in this environment means that you're catering from a success point of view to all your customers, not just focusing on the ones that are paying you more, the top 10 percentile, the top 20 percentile, but you're driving value to everyone. And last but not least, it's about treating all your users and giving them the attention that they deserve. half a decade ago or a decade ago when you sold a software product, you'd convince the buyer that the product is the right one for them. They'd agree, and the users would just need to align with their decision and use whatever the organization or the enterprise decided to buy. That's far from the situation right now. If users don't like your product, even if the organization bought it, they won't use it. They'll find other solutions from different vendors and start using them. The only way to sustainably drive success with customers is to make sure that all the relevant users are getting whatever it is that they should be getting from your application. So to summarize that, the holy grail of customer success is being able to track the leading indicators of customer health, who's healthy, who's not, who's trending up, who's trending down, being able to impact that from a success point of view, from a successes organization, and use that to reduce churn and maximize the revenue for the customers. How do you do that? This is how Totango comes into play. The first step for any organization is to map out what we call the customer journey. Every customer of yours, every user, goes through a journey with your application. They start by learning of your application, then they start using it, and they grow over time. And we can see in this diagram that how this would typically flow. There's a green line where a customer starts, gets to what we call first value. It means that they understand the product, they start using it, and they start engaging with it. And then they grow in the value that they have, and then over time they increase and move forward. More users join the application. They use it more. They use more functionality of it. This is the ideal situation. It's particularly relevant in today's land and expand business model when people start small and grow over time with success. But the reality is that many customers' journey is a little bit different than that green line. There are yellow intersections in this diagram. They sometimes turn red, and every time that happens, churn is around the corner. They might start but never actually be able to finish their implementation and get to their first value. And this can happen because they have support issues that are unresolved and aren't given the right attention during the onboarding process, and it can happen for other reasons as well. They can get to that first value point but never really figure out how to grow or how to expand, and over time that means that is a low-value customer. From their point of view, they're not getting a lot of value, and they will churn. So the first point in delivering compelling customer success is mapping out the customer journey and figuring out what is it that your customers go through over time to create a compelling experience. Once you do that, and we'll talk more later on how that integrated solution works, you can then immediately empower this information not only for your success organization, which is really tasked and has the goal of driving customers up that value chain, but also providing the information of where that customer is at. Are they before first value? Are they after first value? Are they decreasing in value and a reason for concern? Are they on a red curve and almost about to churn based on our information? All this information is exceptionally useful for a support organization, which otherwise might be flying blind a little bit and getting in 8 a.m. as a support agent 2 tickets, one of them from a customer that's doing great and has a casual question, and another from a customer that's doing poorly and has been struggling to get to that first value point. And absent of that information, they might not be able to prioritize them correctly. They might not be able to treat them with appropriate sensitivity and the right in the right context. So this journey map is rooted in the customer success platform, but becomes exceptionally valuable for other customer-facing roles, most notably the success organization, like we're talking right now. Once you have that in place, you have your customer journey map all mapped out, the next thing you want to do is to deploy sensors into customer value. That basically what that means is tracking and collecting information of what the customer is doing and understanding from that which of them require your attention, understanding from that why they require attention, so you can diagnose that and take the right appropriate action, and know this at the right time in real time, so you can actually jump in and make an impact and not learn about it in retrospect where your ability to influence it is not as impactful. So for example, a customer that is onboarding started their implementation, 3 weeks have passed and they have not created their first project again in a project management application, that's a reason for concern. The relevant success manager needs to be able to proactively get alerted about that. They need to diagnose that and see why the customer is doing that. Maybe they have some support tickets that are blocking them from actually setting things up correctly in their environment. Maybe they're not educated enough about different things, and they're looking through the knowledge base to figure out how to do things. Maybe there's some other issue. And as a success manager, once you know that, you can easily interact, come with all the knowledge and all the context in place, and step in to make a difference. When we look at customer success and what are the things that make a successful customer success solution, we kind of list 5 core things. The first is having the right sensors. And if you look at the examples I gave before, if the customer success organization does not know what the customers are doing, what the users are doing, how they're interacting with the product, they will never be able to provide that sort of level of proactive customer success and support. It needs to be flexible because products change all the time. Customer needs change all the time. And if you don't have a platform that can easily adapt to new features in your application or to changes in the way that you sell the product, then your success organization will always be 1 or 2 steps behind in terms of being able to deliver value. It needs to be open. Software companies today have a pretty complex stack in terms of where they maintain information, how the product is built, how the support and the back office systems are orchestrated together. And you really need a way to very easily connect between the dots. So again, if you use Zendesk as your support system, how do you make sure that the information about the customers really sits there in a way that's meaningful and actionable for the entire organization? Your insights need to be actionable. So you need anything from a view for executives to look over the information and identify the core issues that exist within your customer base, to specific plays that you can, as a success organization, initiate to drive value. A great example would be a launch of a new product feature in your portfolio. How do you make sure that all the customers are using this? How do you make sure to educate them about it? Well, the first thing you want to do is see who is actually using it after you launched it. Do you have that information? Is it accessible and easy to interpret for the success organization? If the answer is yes, then you can easily launch a follow-up campaign a couple of weeks later to re-message to the customers that might not have noticed that you have this new capability, and give them another indication of the application. And conversely, those that started using it but maybe have not been successful, reach out, help them troubleshoot, help them understand what to do. Last but not least is the issue of time to value. How quickly can you roll this up? All the organizations, modern software organizations operate really, really fast. They need to be able to not only adapt quickly, they need to be able to run things really, really quickly. So there's a question of how quickly can you connect all these things, your application and what users are doing, connect that with your support infrastructure, with your sales infrastructure, and really empower the entire team to use this information to better their work, to be more efficient, and ultimately to drive more value to the customer base. When Totango looks at customer success, we really look at it from a complete answer point of view. So there's the platform itself, the customer success solution, which includes capabilities around customer monitoring, being able to track in real time what users are doing and how they're interacting with the application, so that you can be mindful of that as you work with them. It's about being predictive with understanding which customers are doing well and which customers are not doing well, and having the system automatically detect that for you, so that a red flag jumps up when a customer isn't doing well without you having to spend too much time figuring out what that actually means and how, but having the software do that for you. It's about being able to engage and score customers in the right way, and being able to act on the information and manage your own actions throughout. So that's the software itself. Above and beyond the software is providing methodology and best practices. How do you map the journey of the customers? That's a service that we offer customers to make sure that they know how to actually use the software correctly and how to think through their own customer journey. how to segment customers correctly, how to integrate Totango with the rest of the ecosystem, with your support system, with your Zendesk. How do you make that work? How do you empower the support agents to also think through the eyes of customer success? And how do you do the inverse of that? How do you make sure that your success team knows the support and technical issues that your customers might have? And last but not least is data science. How do you take all this amounts of information, this mountains and mountains of information, and really sift through it to get to the right information and put that in the hands of the right people? This is fortunately things that computers do really well. It involves data science, machine learning, looking through signals, and identifying the core issues automatically, hands off the wheel, so that the team can focus on what their job is, which is providing great experience for the end users. Who uses Totango? So Totango is used by many, and kind of the leading and edge customers in the software as a service space, serving many millions of users in terms of being able to identify those that have issues and require assistance and so forth. This is good for Totango is used by organizations that are large and growing, customers with hundreds of thousands of end users and clients, all the way to startups that are starting but put front and center the issue of making sure customers are successful and getting value. That's become a cornerstone in any software as a service operational stack. So that's Totango. I'll let Maxime head out now and explain how you actually set up this solution together, and then we'll talk about what is the actual value that you get for it, and go through a few use cases around it. Maxime, off to you.
Thanks, Aaron. Hello, everyone again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you really quickly kind of how to get inside Zendesk to go find this integration, so you can set it up and see how it works, and I'll let Oren speak a little bit to how the integration actually works. So the first thing that you'll do in Zendesk is that you'll need to find our marketplace. So in Zendesk, we have a very kind of open type of marketplace approach where people can build any apps and any integrations that they want, and we feature them in our marketplace. So what you can do is click on the bottom left corner of your Zendesk where you see this little settings cog, and you'll have a settings menu that will display. You'll then be able to click on Marketplace, and you'll have on the right-hand side the entire 160 or so apps that are in the Zendesk Marketplace. When you do so, you can then either search on the right-hand side for Totango, or just directly go to Agent Productivity and find the Totango app that's categorized in here. And then what happens is you'll find the listing for the Totango app. The app is called Totango Insights. And you'll have a little description, instruction how to run it, as well as a few screenshots if you're interested in seeing what it looks like beforehand. Once you click Install App, and this is where I'm going to hand it over to Oren, this is how the app will look like, and Oren will give you a little bit of an overview of the context that we bring to the agent when he's working on the ticket. Oren, back to you.
Thanks, Maxime. So, as I can say, once the integration is all up and running, any support ticket that an agent opens will pop up a panel. You can see it here on the right-hand screen of the page, right next to where the Totango G logo is at, with insights that Totango has about the relevant user. So in this case, a user has opened a ticket. Automatically, we can see a few important pieces of information about them. We can see when they were first active on our application, when were they last active on the application, and this often is great context for the support agent. Is this customer actually using the application right now, or are they opening a ticket that isn't really relevant, but still are not actively using the application? That often really helps them understand what's going on. There's a concept of what we call tags, which are insights that Totango automatically identifies about users that give you extra information as a support agent about how they are using the product and what sort of user they are. So in this case, we can see that this particular user is a mobile user. It means that they use our application through the mobile interface. And they're also considered a power user, one of our best users in the application. This is really good information for the support agent. They know that they can speak to the customer with great details about the product and not overwhelm them. They know that the customer that is opening an issue is probably experiencing a technical difficulty. Maybe they're running into a bug in an advanced use case, rather than someone that's not really familiar with the tool yet and requires maybe a little bit of hand-holding and pointing them in the right direction. We can also see what were the recent actions that this customer has done. We can see that they logged in 4 times recently, that they used particular features and so forth, and we can really get down into a lot of good information about how they were interacting with the product. And this often helps support agents get a sort of a head start in solving the issue, because more often than not, the issue relates to a certain part of our application, and a lot of the work that a support agent has to do is figuring out what is it that the customer actually was trying to do. With this information, they can actually see where they were in the application, what were the actions that they recently took, and that gives them a really good head start to start troubleshooting or addressing the issue, rather than spending a lot of time with the customer through the support system trying to figure out what is it that they were doing up until now, and kind of spearhead through that and really get to the core of the issue before that. We can also see important information about the account that the user belongs to. In many SaaS solutions, particularly catering for the B2B space, have a concept of an end user. This is a person that is using the software, and the account that they belong to, in which many users can exist. And here we can have really important information that helps us set the context for the support. We can see what is it that this customer is subscribed to. Are they a paying customer? Are they a free trial? Where are they in their customer journey? Are they just onboarding, or are they fully activated and ongoing? We can see the health of the account as a whole. Are they doing well or not? Is this customer a successful customer, up and running, fully engaged, using the product as intended? Or are they a customer that's in poor health, that's not really getting the value that they're subscribed to, and struggling to get to that value? And this is really important when you answer a ticket. It's a whole different thing if a customer is exceptionally successful and is conversing with you about something that they need, versus a customer that's really struggling to get to the value point that they bought the product for. It requires a different mindset from the support agent. It requires a different context in which you answer and reply to that customer. In one case, you might be able to answer them and point them to the right information. A power user from a very successful account just might need a little bit of help navigating and getting to the right point in your application or in your support infrastructure and your knowledge base, and can take it from there. Whereas a different customer, when they reach out, potentially with the exact same question, but being empowered with this knowledge, you might actually be better off in treating them very differently, contacting the success manager, trying to understand what the context is, making sure that you're providing support in a way that's sensitive and mindful to their situation, so that you can further provide them with a great experience.
At this time, I just want to encourage the audience to, if they'd like to learn more, to visit either company at Zendesk.com or Totango.com. I've listed the blogs and the Twitter handles for each company, but as Oren and Maxime provided, please feel free to reach out to them directly as well. Thank you to Oren and Maxime, and thank you to the audience for your time today. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.